Hello, today we are going to speak about the resume, business opportunity, and delivery service. So, some people might think, why should I do a resume? Or why should I ask young people or a person that is not young and has already experience to do a resume when this person wants to do business? Is it really useful? And I always tend, as a job facilitator, to advise people to do a resume. It's really important to do a resume. Why? Because when you want to launch a business, when you want to start a business, you're going to encounter people in your family, your friends, that are going to discourage you to do what you want to do and to tell you that you are not going to be able to do that you don't have the expertise, that you're not going to have customer, that it's a dumb idea and things like that. So you need to have a lot of resilience. You have to have motivation. You have to have hope. You have to have, as we say in Lagnac, you need to have the guts, to do what you want to do. And most of the people, they start a business and then after they can no more go on. So as a job facilitator, accompanying a person that wants to do business, it's really important to do a resume with that person in order to have a full self-consciousness, because the first thing that people are going to say is that you are not able, you cannot do it, you don't have the expertise. And if you don't have a resume in front of you, you might think what the person is saying. So there are different kinds of business that you can do. And it's true that certain business, you launch yourself into that business, you start that and you have no expertise, but you have the flair. You feel that this thing is the good thing to do and you're going to work at that, and you feel a certain passion for that, even though you were not trained in that field, you didn't have the qualification, even though you didn't have the experience, but it's a beginning of a vision, a beginning of a mission, because inside of you, you have already this thing that is a big forest in you, and you're trying to take a root to put or a seed, to put it in reality, because in your mind you see it, it's possible. But it's really, really, for those who have an idea in mind and it's really a passion for them, it's not so difficult. But for those who have the idea for a long time, who would have no idea and are discovering, it is very difficult to hold on, because it is not a passion. It's not like burning yourself, not yet, not yet. So if you're a job facilitator, or if you are a person that wants to start a business, if you're a job facilitator that wants to help someone start a business, if you have a hub, it's really important to help a person that wants to start a business to realize their competencies, their expertise, their experience, their weak and strong points, really to realize who they are. And most of the time when you do a resume with the proper techniques, that person is like in front of the resume. It happened to me to feel like I'm crying. I have to retain because I feel since the beginning that the person that I have in front of me has no big esteem of their professional personality. And I know that it takes time. In 18 hours, I push people to do 7 or 8 resumes. And I know it takes time for the inner part of a person to get out and to let it see on the resume. And then after, it's a step on the cover letter, and then interviews and stuff like that. So it's really, really, really important. It's really important to have this session with people. But it happened that you meet someone that doesn't need a resume. And I had that. One of my group in Congo, WhatsApp work group or employment group that I created. At the beginning, there was a young guy that got in touch with me, and we exchanged, and I said, okay, what do you do, and this and that. And he said, well, I'm agriculture engineer, an agronome. I don't know how you say that in English. Should search for it. And I do plants, and here are the seeds and the beginning of the plants, and it's showing me pictures, and I wrote a book on how to do, and it was giving me calculation about you can do so much little plants, and it's going to give you this and that. And then I understood that this guy didn't need a resume. He needed partners, he needed customers, he needed, and he said, oh, if I could have a small piece of land, I would do, and it would really work, and so on. And I said, okay, I didn't want to lose his time, because he was really clear on what he wanted, and I could put him in contact with connection that I knew that said they were giving services of this kind, or were needing services of this kind, the kind of services that this young man could offer. So certain people don't need a resume, and you feel it that they are on the go. They are already like, they can do a service, they can do a product, they are there, and they are not going to lose time making a resume. They need to convince partners, investors, customers to buy. They don't have the time. A resume, you cannot sell a resume except if you're in that field that you sell resume. So, but if this is not the goal of your career, well, why lose time with something that is not going to bring you something directly when you have the opportunity? Because when you have something that can give you directly what you need and according to your passion. So I put him in contact, and not a long time ago I saw in the group of Benin that they were searching someone, and I said, perhaps, so I'm trying to put him in connection, and I hope he's going to fulfill his needs, his business needs, because he's in that, and he has an expertise, and he started writing about it. It was, I think, burning him. So he's just trying to find the person that is going to give him the opportunity to have a field and do something. And I think he will like this. So so it happens that people don't need a resume, okay, because they're already burning, and they already know what they are doing, and they're already doing it, you know. But some people that don't know in what business they want to go, or where you feel that they don't realize how powerful they could be in one business, people that didn't start anything yet, it's good just to make a resume with them, so they can build up the self-esteem, but they can also see in which field they have an expertise. you know, in which field they need to have a training, in which field they can earn money because they know how to do, you know. So it's, the resume is really a helper for someone that builds a business. But you have certain jobs where you don't need a resume, or it's another type of resume. For example, me, I have different resume. I have employees resume, so as a customer service, as a seller, as administrative agent, but I have also a resume about my business. So I'm a job facilitator, and I have a resume for job facilitation and a resume for business facilitation, but it is more to sell my services as a business person who is selling job facilitation services and who is selling business facilitation services. And it's really important to learn to do a resume, because you learn to sell yourself according to the situation, especially that today you can have like 3 pages of work experience and qualification, but it is a trend to have a resume of 1 page. So learning to do a resume is also a good way to know how to sell yourself, you know. But what you have also is you have like designers, artists, they have a book, you know. So it's another type of resume. You have to know that according to the field you're working in, there is a certain kind of presentation of your skills, of your competencies, of your profile, your professional profile, and you have to, so to present yourself to customers, or to present yourself to people who can hire you in a way that, okay, they can see and say, okay, this is interesting, that person thinks as us and present things as us. Another thing also is that you have certain people, how to start a business. Certain people don't know that they have skills and experience and assets, competencies, abilities in doing something, and a resume is going to make them discover. But if you can do something already while you want to build up your company, is starting to act, like this young man that started to act. It was like showing the plants that are starting to act, and to sell your experience, your expertise for a certain amount of money, and not wait for a contract, you know, not wait to have this company with the lawyers paying the state, the government, the taxes for, no, you can start, and that is service delivery. You can start as a service deliverer. So that means that, let's say you're an electrician, and I met this young guy that was an electrician, and we were living in a kind of compounds, different compounds. It was in Congo, and you had people from the MONUSCO and so on. So he came in that compound, and do you call that compound? It's like apartments and apartments and apartments. And he came, and I was like outside, and he went to do doors to doors. And he was an electrician engineer, and he said, I can repair your stuff. So this other person came out with microwave, another person came out with a radio, another person came out with a TV, another person, and so he had a little tester to see if electricity was okay, and wrote, okay, if I had to repair, you are going to pay my service this amount, and the piece to replaces are this amount, so you have to pay me the pieces to replace and my service. And this is service delivery, prestation de service in French. So that means that if you are able to do something like that, it's really good. For example, this young guy There was almost 20 apartments, $10 per service. So it did 200 that day. Okay, and what is really good? So service delivery, what does it mean? It means that if you have an expertise, if you have a skill, that people are ready to pay so that you use that skill to solve one of their problems punctually, like now, I have a problem, can you help me? Or you go to a person and you say, look, I have this skill, and with this skill I can resolve this, so this problem. Do you have this problem? You know, if you have this problem, I'm here, I have the skills, I can do that. So that means that you have to go to the customer. You have to do doors to doors. And that is really like something that you can easily do in Africa. To go to doors and propose what you can do, so, and see if the customer needs your service and is ready to pay for this service at that moment. And this is service delivery, prestation de service, you know. And if you push your intelligence, let's say this electrician, you know that every day you're going to knock on doors. You go to a shop and you say, look, every day I'm going to come and I will buy pieces, electrical pieces, but I have all this range of tools that I would like to buy. How can we arrange for me to buy them? I can pay little by little, and I tell you I want this one first and this one first, and the person can accept, because every time you will go to that person to buy the pieces you need, you know, and to make you an overall price, but you pay step by step. So when you have a customer, you make him pay, for example, the service that you are providing, let's say $10, the pieces were $20, and then you add on the bill of your customer a 10% on the pieces. So it's $2 or €2, $2. And with this $2 is the $2 you're going to give for the tools. That means that after 10 customers, 2 by 10, you have 20. You might have bought another tool, you know, because you have only your tester, you know. And if it's like the service delivered is $50 and you bought pieces for 100, you take 10% of 100 and it's $10, and with that $10 you can buy a tool, or you can pay for a tool that is waiting for you till you pay everything. So that's one of the things. If you are a doctor, if you are a baker, if you are, but for example, if you are a doctor and you are registered as a doctor, you can see with your parents, you can see with people you know, you have like kind of apartment and you share a common court under the tree. Everybody knows that this day at this hour, the doctor of the place here is receiving people and is going to make a diagnosis, and you can prescribe a medicine or prescribe a place where this person can go. You have that intelligence, and if you have the right to be a doctor, then you can do that. But you can also arrange with 2 other doctors and make a service 24 hours per day. You do 8 hours, the other do 8 hours, and together you save to buy the tools. Usually you had, like a long time ago in Europe, you had like campaign doctors that were going from one house to another with the bag. So you can share a bag of tools together, and but you know that this one is 8 hours, this one is 8 hours, this one is 8 hours. So you have so many services, and so it's very important for someone to realize that perhaps he has studied in a field that permits him to make service delivery and not wait for a job, you know. And that is really important while you do the resume, to try to see those cases where you can tell to those person that, you know, here you are an opportunity that you don't seize. You know, you're feeling the opportunity that you are. So you're feeling an opportunity here. You're not seizing that opportunity. You're not creating the opportunity. And you have the opportunity here to work. And perhaps you don't find a job somewhere else because it is your destiny to fulfill your opportunity, what you are. Thank you for following me. I hope it was interesting for you. Don't forget to subscribe and to put a like, and we'll see you next time.